to the Dayton Power Roach Road Tennis Facility here in Bushall. We have the second call out for the night. On court, we have the young Shakeem Nurse, the coming A-class player, facing the camera, dressed in all black. And back in the camera, we have Adrian Scott. And with me doing the commentary tonight is the young Dre Smith. Good evening, Mr. Smith. How are you doing?
I'm quite fine, Mr. Dalton. Good night to you and good night to the viewers watching this game all around the world here tonight.
Welcome to Punchers TV.
Thank you.
Right. Right now, this is going to be a 2-best-in-3 set. What's your view on the young Shakeem Nurse?
I think that I'm quite fond of Shakeem actually. You know, to see a junior at his young age coming up into the sport. You know, I saw Shakeem. I was privileged to see Shakeem coming up to the grapevines. You know, and Shakeem has come from quite far in the sport. You know, I actually heard him say the other day that he has earned the privilege to call out certain players and do certain things, and that I'm a big believer of. So, but not taking away from Adrian Scott, he's also a pretty good player. I also saw Scotty come up to the ranks, and you know this is going to be some good games here tonight.
Yes.
Last Saturday and Sunday, in Charleston, we witnessed Adrian Scott defeating Shakeem Nurse 2-1 in a 2-best-of-3. So, you know, Shakeem decided to go home and call him out, and we expect good games tonight as well.
Yeah, this is going to be a very exciting set. These both players are attacking players. Here we see Shakeem, he's serving. And both players are familiar with each other's tennis, so
yeah,
I think we're going to have a very good contest.
Yeah, we see early on Shakeem is attempting to exercise some authority, you know, trying to somewhat intimidate Adrian Scott. He's flexing his arm, and you know, glad to see that Shakeem has his game face on tonight, quite serious.
Right, because Adrian Scott you cannot underestimate Adrian Scott.
Very much so.
He have a lot of experience.
Also a lot of energy. So at this point early in the game, I guess the players aren't yet warmed up. I'm going to try and get a feel for everything. As you can see, they're trying to qualify as much ball as possible.
Yeah, at this stage, you see Shakeem is trying to put the ball as much as possible into Adrian Scott back arm. We call Adrian the giant killer. Let's see if you can rise to that, if you can live up to that name. Yeah, I saw you doing some officiation tonight. You were comfortable doing that, Dre?
Pretty much so, actually, but you see, the ball was moving at a pace where I could see it pretty easily. Whereas in these bigger games, this is considered an A-class game, and just so to officiate this game here, I would find it to be a bit more challenging because the ball is moving at a great pace, and I wouldn't want to get anything wrong.
Fair enough, because I know you're relatively new to tennis, and you don't want to put you under that pressure. You know what I mean? Because you know it's not on the outside, it look easy doing officiating, and I'm sure at some point in time you probably were watching tennis and you were kind of maybe upset with the scores, but when you know you're on the line, you realize it's a very difficult job.
Difficult job, indeed. Punch, I'm glad to see the turnout tonight. You know, quite a bit of players and spectators have come up tonight to represent their horse in this matchup. You know, pretty decent crowd on hand tonight. As you said, Punch, you can see that Shakeem is bringing his attack more into Adrian's back arm. You know, because he's aware that Adrian has a pretty strong forward arm, so he's trying to avoid switching his attack onto Adrian's attack, so he's locking the back arm.
Right now the score is 8-7-11. Shakeem is 8 and 11-9. Adrian Scott, he's have the lead, a 2-point lead. You see a lovely forceful shot there from Adrian's forward arm.
I saw that ball good, Punch. How did you see it?
11-10.
Seems that the observers and the scorers in equilibrium there, what do you call it?
13 serving 10.
Adrian is maintaining the lead quite well. They would need to stay in front of Shakeem, you know? Good serve.
You know, there's a lot that folks have banking on Shakeem because he's a coming champion. Well, not champion, a coming tennis star, basically.
Correct.
And
Shakeem has become the household name.
yes, but he yet have to prove himself among the top players. When they say the top players like Mark,
Venom Griffith and Twan Daniels and those guys.
yes,
Shakeem attempted to turn over there again. Would have been a brilliant shot because Adrian Scott was coming in this direction and covered the backhand. But just at the top of the net, I went away.
and today I have the young Jonathan adding, doing some commentary with me. He's a friend of yours?
Yes, me and Specs, as we call him, because of his glasses, spectacles. We have had our time against each other when I had first come back into the sport, you know? Specs one time beat me 5 straight in Golden Square. Had me feel like quitting.
But you know, in talking to Jonathan, he
Lovely
told
shot.
he told me that he gets the better of you. He from what I gathered from him, he seemed to be a better player than you.
No,
but he did admit that you have improved since you went into the sauna.
Very much so. You know, Pancha, he has called me out 3 times. I told carefully he called me out, and every time that I get there, he told me in Belfield. I went to Belfield, ran to Belfield, missed the bus and ran from Christchurch, Pancha, just to play Jonathan. When I got there, he told me he was too tired. He played 85 games today. Another time I met for him in Golden Square, he told me that he's missing the bus. He has to get home. The bus coming. Came from in Bush Hall tonight, and he told me that his hand, he has an injury.
So you're trying to tell me these are excuses
Well,
that Jonathan is making?
I don't want to say that they're excuses. I think that Jonathan has realized the improvements in my tennis, and he dares not come in front of me because he doesn't have to, in the sense that we're in different divisions. I'm under 16, he's in over 16, so we don't have to play in the tournament. So he's abstaining. Lovely shot.
Lovely shot there by
Lovely turnover there by Shakeem.
Yo, don't get fussy, boy.
But in talking to Jonathan, he also told me that his ambition is to be the #1 player. I know that from observing you, your personality and so on, you also want to be #1.
Yes, sir. I do. Much like myself, Jonathan has a lot of improvements to go through. You know, most of us juniors, all of us, even us senior players, have a lot of things that they need to implement to claim the #1 seat right now. Shakeem is one gunning for the #1 seat. Many arguments have come about that Shakeem is the #1 player in Barbados. You know, I'm pretty sure you are aware of that, Puncher. Mm-hmm. So I believe that in time, Jonathan can be really good. But as of right now, I'm going to continue to preach that I'm better.
Yes, but you know, in most sports, you see younger persons tend to dominate more sports. But in road tennis, it seems to be reverse. We see senior players dominating the game.
Very much so.
You as a young man, does that frustrate you, or are you think that as a young man that you should be beating the older players, or you think that you need to mature in the sport to be successful?
But you see, Pancha, that is something that seems to vary, because as a good example, Lager Chapman. He's an upcoming junior that has proven himself, placing second in the last Big Class tournament, the 2-point tournament we witnessed just about a week and a half ago. So sometimes juniors tend to be dominant in road tennis, then other times seniors also tend to shine. Whereas also in the A class, Puncher, Shakeem won.
Yeah, the first game goes to Shakeem Nurse, and he's smiling.
But you can see, Puncher, juniors are tending to dominate.
Yeah, get that.
All right, we're into the second game. The first game was won by Shakeem Nurse.
Coming from behind.
Yeah. Oh, lovely shot.
Lovely turnover there again.
That is the shot of the night.
Punch, I don't know if you realize this, but in the later hours of the game just now, Shakeem tended to push the ball into Adrian's backarm, and when he received the attacking shot, then he would turn the ball into the forward arm of Adrian Scott. Just now I realized that. Whereas before, in the early hours of the game, he tended to be attacking to the backarm of Adrian Scott. So he realized that wasn't working, Then he decided now to swing the ball, put the power, the pressure in the forearm, and the power in the backhand. So that was a nice switch to see that Shakeem is thinking tennis.
That was a very good observing by you, Mr. Smith.
Yes, thank you.
Right now, Shakeem, he won the first game. I think he seems very confident now. He have
to
money
see
in the
that
bank.
He would have come from behind, right? And you know, when these things happen, it is imperative that a player keeps his composure, you know? Because
Don't get too
let it
cocky.
get to his head.
Don't get too cocky.
Because as we already assessed earlier in the lovely injection there by Shakeem Nurse, as we assessed earlier in the game, Adrian Scott is not to be underestimated. But Puncher, in the 2 best of 3, most players' objective is to come home in the first game because it's more difficult to win 2 games from behind. The pressure of game conditions, because really and truly this is tournament conditions here. We have scores, we have a nice crowd out to watch the games. So it's basically tournament conditions, and then also to see that he's 1 game down. So that's a lot of added pressure onto Adrian's game. But we hope that the pressure doesn't take over his game.
Yeah, you know, Scott is a seasoned player, and it's possible that he may be able to put back this second game to remain relevant in this set. Yes. It's 4-all right now. Scores are are tied.
Scott's pulling this backhand really well. Lovely shot. Lovely turnover shot. And as you saw there just now as well, Puncher, putting the ball in the backhand, the pressure in the backhand, and then turning the ball to the forearm for the attack shot, which is lovely.
Very good setup by
Players are thinking.
Yeah, very good setup there by Adrian Scott.
And this is what you would expect in A-class tennis, to see players using their brains. We can see that the crowd here tonight is on lovely shot. See that the crowd here tonight is getting bigger and bigger, you know?
Yes, something is buzzing. Maybe the match between Stanmore and Fire.
Yeah. Also, these matches tonight were well publicized, you know?
And this is a day during the week where people have to work and so on, but still have a good crowd. People are still coming out and supporting it. We had fought some New York who are locked onto these games, and they're offer their comments and so on.
That's nice, you know. I'm glad to see the exposure. You know, road tennis is an amazing sport. Puncher, I began playing road tennis about 6 years ago. I've been playing now about 6 months serious, competitively. And Puncher, I can't see myself leaving, you know.
Yeah. Okay, your genesis and where you start your road tennis was in
Dover.
Dover.
Yeah.
St. Lawrence Gap.
Yeah.
Who was your mentor?
A man by the name of Anthony Charlie Chase.
He's a footballer. He's a national.
Yeah,
he was a former national
lovely shot.
football player.
Yes, Charlie gave me my first racket, you know. Then on Saturdays when I get the chance, I would venture to the sauna. And I was quite short then, so when I reintroduced myself to the road tennis arena, many players did not, and personally did not remember me. But as I became more familiarized with me then, I was able to, you know, make a better step into the sport. But now I am a member of the Charleston base, you know, where I play most of my tennis. And arguably, I have realized my assessment that Charleston is becoming the home of champions, you know. There are juniors in there that are really progressing.
Right. Right now the scores are 10 serving 10. Oh, a lovely passing shot there by
again.
Shakeem.
I love the exorcism of these turnovers. That ball. Again, we can see Shakeem placing a high amount of balls into the back arm of Adrian Scott. So we just know we witnessed Adrian Scott telling them I was going to hit that ball so hard, you know. Love to see the passion. Again, a high amount of balls going to Adrian. Turnover again. Lovely shot.
That is a shot from the top drawer, and that was unexpected. That ball was on close to Shakeem's feet, and he was able to execute it well.
Lovely backhand to backhand just now. Adrian Scott coming out on top there, puncher. Adrian Scott trailing closely behind. Puncher, I would say that from what I'm seeing here, the game is still well open. Even though that if Adrian Scott is lose this game, that will be the end of tennis here tonight. But we can say that this has been a crowd pleaser tonight.
Yes.
A lot of shots.
12-15, Adrian Scott facing the camera and the blue top and black pants. He's 12. Shakeem is on the attack. Oh, a lovely turnover. Shakeem, this look light work for Shakeem.
A lot of turnovers here tonight, puncher.
You know, I asked young Jonathan in terms of young tennis players who was his idol. I'm going to ask you that same question. Who's your tennis idol right now? In terms of among your peers?
The junior?
Your juniors, yeah.
My answer is going to be very controversial to many listening. But I would say Tyrese Holder. And the reason that I like Tyrese Holder is not mostly to do with his skill as a player, but his discipline and the way that he carries himself in terms of the professionalism of the sport, you know?
So
Tyrese takes the sport serious right through.
Yes, I admire Terry, his personality, his behavior. He's a good model as a
Lovely
young
shot there by
tennis player.
Adrian Scott. He saw it coming. He got the court in time to turn it over well.
Let's go back to Tyrese. I think one of the things that really helping Tyrese is the camp that he's in, the club that he's in.
Bartal, the World Tennis Elite Academy. Right now, the camp that has the most upcoming juniors is Bartal, you know? Because there's a certain prestige that comes from up there, you know? A lot of focus and precision into their game. Bartal's team, the camp is as strong, but the juniors are upcoming champions up there because of what is taught up there, you know, decency into the sport.
Yes, you see here Shakeem defeated Adrian Scott 2 straight in this call out. And all right, good night to you, Shakeem. You were successful in defeating Adrian Scott in this 2 best in 3 call of the night. It was like a walk in park for you. How was it for you, sir?
It was fun, cause he had to beat the back because his Sander beat me in Chelsea. So I called you tonight. I beat it. So I feel good.
So who will be your next call out?
I open the call out Dario or Lynchie. 1 and 2.
All right, so we'll be looking forward to hear you on the chat and those 2 call outs. And it'll be interesting to see if Dario or Lynchie would respond. Thank you very much, Mr. Shakeem Nurse.
Thank you.